We were sitting at two different tables. We literally couldn't look at each other. And I did not know how it was going to end. It was sad because we didn't know if we would talk again. And that was our first fight in first grade. That really was our first fight in first grade. And wow, one of the last ones we ever had.
Our friendship did not almost end, okay? We lured you in. That's what I was trying to say. Clickbait, okay, but this is an important video because...
Let me tell them why. Some of y'all think that marriage is easy, that friendships, you just find the best friend, and they got lucky, they hit the gold mine, and now that's it. Like, ooh, they're so lucky. Same with relationships. Oh, that couple's so lucky. Oh, that person's so lucky. They just found the one.
They just get along so well.
Yes, and you believe the lie that things are easy when you find the right one. And that's a lie. Because friendships take effort. Marriage takes effort. Relationships take effort, and being successful takes effort.
Yeah.
These things take work, dirty work, laying down your life work. And so in this video, we're gonna tell y'all kind of like story version of how Kaitlyn and I's friendship has looked like and how we deal with conflict, how we dealt with it in the middle of very real things that most friends probably would just end over because they think we're just not for each other.
Literally how we handle disagreements.
Yes.
Butting heads.
Yeah.
Conflict.
Yes. So if you find that you run through friends fast, or you don't have a lot of friends, or you think like we're just lucky, wow, they just found their soulmates. No, we trained each other, buddy. We made this happen. We talked it through. I didn't just assume that we were just gonna get along. We talked through it, right?
Yeah, literally.
And you could do the same with your friends, sorry.
People always ask, like, how do you guys do so much together? Because we do a lot together. There was a point where we did YouTube together. We were roommates. We were running a conference, and we were best friends. We were also spiritual sisters.
Yeah, everything.
And people think that it's just like, how do you guys ever fight? How do you guys agree on stuff?
Yeah.
Literally, sometimes this has taken a lot of work, a lot of hard moments. So we're gonna give you the nitty-gritty details about an insight into our friendship so that you can get help in your friendships.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we're already 4 minutes in. We ain't even say our names, but I'm Kaitlyn.
I'm Sarah, and we are your best friends.
Hi. If that's even necessary. That was a good intro.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Subscribe. Almost 1,000 subscribers. Might be 1,000 by the time this video goes up.
And please follow our Instagram, Your Best Friends Fam.
It's amazing. Great content on there.
Just getting started, baby. Some people be thinking like, aren't you anxious that you guys are creating this future together? Mm-hmm. What if one of y'all like want to not do it? We're going to tell you how that works out because it's really crazy that we're doing all these things, making these future plans. And it seems like, wow, Sarah, or wow, Kaitlyn, you're trusting the other friend that they're going to still want to do this. The reason why I have zero anxiety, I'm not lying to you. I would not lie to you. I'd tell Kaitlyn if I had 10% anxiety that Kaitlyn will not let me down in the future.
Because, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but just for those who are new on our channel, like we do YouTube together and we have our career plans are together. We have yourbestfriends.org if you want to look on our website. Just for clarity for anyone who doesn't know, like we're in this together.
Yeah, like, exactly. The reason why I have zero anxiety about it and Kaitlyn doesn't as well is because God started this, so God's gonna bring it to the end. God in our own individual lives has been raising us up, ironically, for the same purposes.
Ever since we were in first
grade. Without knowing it, like obviously we went through normal life and it wasn't until sophomore year of college that we started a YouTube video. But we see it clear as day. God has put these dreams and these things in Kaitlyn's heart and same in mine. So it really doesn't feel like we're counting on each other. Like it doesn't feel like I'm counting on Kaitlyn for anything. It feels like we're just running the same race together. We find that at least once a week, the Holy Spirit will drop an idea in my heart. I'll tell Kaitlyn and she was just thinking about that last week.
Literally.
It's really like that.
A good example is when we started doing conferences in Gainesville. Sarah called me when we were at when I was at the gym.
No, I was at the gym, Kaitlyn.
Okay,
you were at home. I was at the gym.
We're fighting right now. Disagreements.
I mean, it's a fact. Okay. I was at the gym.
I remember being at the gym, but that's fine.
No, you were at home. I told this story. I told this story at the conferences billions of times. I was working out at the gym, saw a workout class.
Yeah. I just remember you calling me and me being at the gym, but whatever. Okay, we were at the gym. You were at the gym, but that's not the point. 1 minute detour. Sarah calls me from the house. No, I keep messing up. It doesn't matter.
I call you.
Sarah calls me, okay? And she says that... Tell them what you said.
I said, dude, we should do a conference in Gainesville. If people are willing to show up to workout classes and just make it a priority in their life, that clearly means they have a need to get fit. The same is that there's so many people who have a need for Jesus or community, and all someone's got to do is put it out there. Let's do conferences.
And literally on the phone, I said to Sarah, I was just journaling 3 days ago about possibly doing something like having events, something very similar to what she was describing. So before she even mentioned it to me, and before we even talked about it, this amazing, honestly, spiritual thing happened. And the point with that is we can rely on each other only by the grace of God. It takes a lot of work and communication, which we're going to get into. But the fact that we can run the same race together can only be unified by God's grace. I can't make Sarah have the visions I have. I can't make her have the goals that I have. I can't make her want to live the life that I live. I can't do any of that. I can't convince her of anything because she's an individual human being. So that's why it's so cool, because we've had so many moments like that throughout our friendship.
Just like that, all the time.
And it's a perfect example of just the way that literally we work through this. We've got great tools for you for communication, but for what we're doing that's so like seems high stakes,
I don't feel it at all. Because also in the Bible, when they were building the churches, they were unified by the Spirit. They were not unified by agreements on all these nitty gritty things. And it's freeing to know that Kaitlyn and I don't have anxiety about what if she thinks this, what if I think this. So long as we have the big picture thing together, we want people to be saved in the name of Jesus Christ. So long as that's our big thing, we can have different opinions. We have different personalities. We have different ways of thinking. We're different, and we're not unified by that. We agree 100% because that's impossible.
We literally just disagreed on
Yeah, that's anxiety-inducing. We agree by one thing, that it is by the grace of God that we're running this race together.
Exactly. So that is a big deal to talk about. So I'm glad we talked about that first.
Maybe that's a tip for you, by the way, with your friendships. Culture wants to tell you that you have to agree on everything 100% or else they're canceled, or else you can't be friends with them.
They're toxic.
If they voted for this person, nope, you stand for hate, you this, and this. It's not about agreeing 100%. It's about
having the same mission.
Exactly.
Right?
Loving the Lord, laying down your life. Yeah. If your mission is to lay down your life for others, and their mission is to lay down your life for others, you're going to be great, because you're going to lay down your lives for each other instead of protect your own ego opinions.
Yep. Amen to that, sister. When we say butt heads, like, we perceive things differently sometimes.
We think differently.
And in learning how to work together and taking on something like a YouTube channel and then doing conferences together and doing podcasts together, we have had to learn much more about each other than we ever had in our whole friendship, because we had to learn how to work together. And a great example of that is a year ago, we took on a project to redo all of our thumbnails because
they were ugly. They were making me depressed every time I looked at them. I was not satisfied.
We were going through this project to do the thumbnails, and we didn't really have a clear plan laid out. It was more so like we came up with how we wanted to do the thumbnails, and it was just like, okay, we got all 50 thumbnails, let's just do it. You know, we've been doing it for 3 days, and Sarah's putting out these thumbnails, and then she would text me, and I remember one specific text. She texted me at maybe like 4 o'clock or whatever, and she's like, hey, can you get 5 thumbnails done today? Question mark, what do you think? You can add like more your side of the story, but from my perspective, all of a sudden, I had been feeling this weight built up ever since we took the thumbnail project on. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about the way that we were working together was giving me a lot of anxiety. And her texting me that innocent, well-meaning, hey, 5 thumbnails today text kind of triggered this feeling of, I didn't feel great working on the thumbnail project. I literally felt anxious. I felt burnt out. I felt like Sarah and I weren't working well together. I kind of felt like she was more so just bossing me around, which she wasn't, but like, that's how I felt. And for 30 minutes, I'm literally sitting where I was, And I didn't text her back. I just didn't know what to do because I just had this little anxiety in my stomach, like butterflies. I feel awful. And I realized that I just had to call her and express to her exactly everything that
she's not easy.
I was feeling, which was really scary because I didn't want her to think that I was coming at her or that she did anything wrong. But at the same time, I couldn't carry the burden alone. Like, I literally had to explain. And we ended up having an amazing conversation. That day, we learned something about each other. And I don't know
God
if you
showed us it, yeah. Well, it started off, it was like an hour and a half conversation.
Yeah, on the phone.
And at first, it's seeming to be rough. Like, the first 30 minutes, in my opinion, are rough. Because she's saying that she feels anxiety from this, and I'm thinking, I don't understand, right? Because my brain, I don't relate to, like, having anxiety from people telling me what to do. I want people to tell me what to do so I can just do it. And also, it's not that serious if I text you. It's just a text message, right? So at first, it's just spitting out these things to each other and maybe not understanding at first.
And asking questions.
And it's like, this is so weird because I don't relate to what you're saying and you...
And I didn't relate to what she was saying.
Yeah, it's like, how can I just not be, I'm knowing, though, the Lord always redeems. So it's interesting to see where this conversation is going to go. I was interested to see how is this going to end. Is this conversation going to end that, okay, we're just an understanding of each other? Is it that we create a new system? But God did the best thing. Did we pray in that conversation? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. And so what ends up happening is all of a sudden God shows us that no, we were not butting heads. All that's happening is Kaitlyn has these strengths and I have these strengths and we weren't playing to them. The example is I personally desire to be told what to do because I've been the boss in many areas of my life.
So it's relaxing for you to be told what to do.
It's so relaxing, yes. So when I text you, can you make 5 thumbnails happen? If somebody were to text me that, I'd be like, yes, thank you for letting me know what I gotta do. Because I'm always thinking of the big picture.
And I don't really, for Sarah to text me, hey, can you get 5 thumbnails done today? It felt like she was not being my friend. She was being more so my boss. I like to have clarity in systems. Like, if we have a plan to do 50 thumbnails, I don't like just spontaneously 5 thumbnails. Like, I can do that, but when there's no clarity, no delegation, no plan in line for when we're going to get it done, to me, it's anxiety. And it's also, I don't like people texting me, hey, can you do 5 thumbnails? Because it's like, I don't want to let you down by not doing the 5 thumbnails. So the crazy thing is, I like planning and delegating and texting. I like texting Sarah, hey, goal, each of us do 5 thumbnails today. We're going to get 10 done today. I like creating the systems to achieve the goals. I like to get the nitty-gritty details for how we bring things.
Streamline it all.
Yes, I like doing the delegation, and I like doing, most importantly, what Sarah enjoys, which is telling people what to do. Sarah enjoys being told what to do.
Yes.
Sarah literally wants...
I hate what she likes to do. I'm literally shook on this phone call that she's telling me she likes to plan and organize and create these documents. I'm like, I hate that.
Yes.
And you want to know what I love to do that she loved to streamline? I love to spit crap out and just come up with all these, which we still do. I still will plan and she still will spit out.
A little bit of, yeah.
Yeah,
it's not like
I
crazy.
am just a big dreamer, big planner, big spontaneous. And then as we started learning that in the conversation, I realized we're a perfect team. But it was weird because if we never had the conversation and Kaitlyn never came to me knowing that her best friend would love her no matter what, and vice versa, we would just think it's not meant to be. We're not for each other. It's just not going to work out.
We just don't work well
We're not
together.
good business partners. We're not good for this ministry. But because we conversed, we dialogued in love. We adjusted here, adjusted there. I did my best when I listened to her, not listen with ready to defend myself. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could listen to her talk about the anxiety of the 5 texts and I could easily be like, that just doesn't make sense. So like, just don't have anxiety. It's just 5. I'm just asking you to make 5 thumbnails. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But it's deeper than that. And also, it'll be more freeing for her to know that I care about that. Like, let's figure it out then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I just was so shook when I found out that your strength was what I literally hated. And what I love to do, she more so, like, didn't do that all the time.
And it's crazy because we were burning each other out.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to do what I would appreciate. If I don't like those spontaneous texts, like, hey, can you find time? I would never text Sarah anything like that because
which is what I love.
So Sarah's lacking what she loves
to receive.
And now Sarah, she would appreciate being told what to do. So she's telling me to do these 5 thumbnails, but that's not what I need, so I don't want it.
Yeah.
So we're both trying to do the good. I'm
doing what I would love to receive. I'm telling you, do 5 thumbnails, keeping you up to date.
And it's crazy because once we realize that, it's literally a win-win situation because now I know it was just an amazing win-win situation where we could figure out, okay, actually, Sarah, you don't want to be the leader in that sense when it comes to the thumbnails and stuff. You don't have to text me. I'll figure out when to get it done.
Yes.
Kaitlyn, you don't want to, like, plan this big picture stuff, come up with the next giant project we're going to do. I'll brainstorm for it. And yes, we do a little bit of each. But the point in all of this is that if we had never talked about it and been open to discuss it and been led by God's grace, we would have just given up and it probably would have been a big drama and a fight.
Yeah. It makes me so sad because, you know, I think what people think they need is to have a perfect puzzle piece that matches you, and like that's how you know it's good, like you're just lucky. But what makes me sad is all we ever need, Kaitlyn, is a conversation. We've had more situations come up, like remember a few months after that, then we had to talk about burning out again and all that stuff. But the beauty is that it's never been the problem. It's always been, are we talking about it? It's always that I'm a safe landing place for Kaitlyn to talk to, and she's a safe landing place for me. Like, that's all that's required for a great friendship, is for you to be a safe landing place. Like, for her to know that she can just tell me. I mean, come on, like, we've all done it. We all have friendships where they do little annoying things and you let it build up, you let it build up, and you think that maybe I'm not going to tell them because maybe my emotions are not valid. Maybe I'm overthinking. But why not, though, express that to them in love? Like, I'll go to Kaitlyn and express the thing, how I'm feeling. And because she loves me, I have to take the leap of faith and think she's not going to freak out on me. She's not going to defend herself. She's going to just listen to me. And practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. And the crazy thing is, like, if I don't learn how to be a great best friend to her, well, why am I going to be a great wife then in the future? If I can't lay down my pride in my life, in my friendship, how am I going to not do that with my man? You think just because he's hot, like, I'm going to be able to do that? No, because in a few years we'll grow comfortable with each other. I get to practice being a more selfless human.
And it's really not easy to communicate sometimes. All these little...
So easy to not communicate, bro.
All these little conversations that we've had, we could have let things blow over. And that's not to say to blow everything out of proportion, but like the things that need to be expressed, it would be easier to just say that you can let it go and then not say anything. For me to sit there with the 5 thumbnails and just say, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then feel really anxious and get them all done and feel horrible.
Which would make me sad. I don't want her to feel that way because then we're disconnected.
It sometimes feels easier to not communicate, but it's much, much, much harder in the end. I know for me, expressing things like that doesn't come naturally. I don't like talking about stuff like that. Gotten better. I like talking about it once I've talked about it, but it's hard for me to initiate conversations like that. It's not an excuse not to do that in your friendships and relationships, though, because we are supposed to bear each other's burdens. Yeah. And we are supposed to love each other and be honest with each other and forgive each other and be patient. And all of this is a process.
Yeah, we're constantly practicing. It's hard.
Yes, we've had moments where we didn't express things that we should have expressed, where we responded to each other in not the most perfect way that maybe hurt somebody's feelings. Like, we've made mistakes, but if the point was about perfection, no friendship is ever going to work. The point is not about me being a perfect friend to Sarah or Sarah being a perfect friend to me. Same thing if you're in a relationship. The point is not for you to have a perfect man that's going to fit right in with you or a perfect friendship.
Perfect woman.
The point is like 2 people who are literally willing and want to lay their life down and honestly love God first. If you don't have that, you don't have much to build on for a friendship. So That's what I got. That's a very real insight into how we handle this stuff.
You guys, it's real deal. And I'll just say 2 things before we end. 1, you gotta understand that if you're heading places, aka for big goals that God has placed in your heart and desires, the devil wants nothing more than to tear apart your friendships and the people closest to you.
Yeah.
We see many people in ministry and or in life get burned out because their personal life was crumbling, but they just figured they would lay down their life for the church. Okay, we gotta like have great personal lives. And so what helps me is knowing when I express something to Kaitlyn, let's say I didn't feel loved or whatever, right? I have to realize I'm not fighting her. I'm fighting the devil, because he would love nothing more than for me to not tell Kaitlyn, not have connection, little things build up in our ministry in which we've submitted and surrendered to the Lord, for it to slowly burn and crumble because of a lack of communication and connection. Connection's what we desire, not perfection. So 1, don't let the devil win. You're not fighting flesh and blood. You're fighting spiritual battles. So I fight my battles by talking to Kaitlyn and not doing what the devil would love me to do, which is keep my mouth shut. The second thing that I'll say is, moving forward, what I'm personally practicing and what Kaitlyn's practicing in our friendship, like literally current time moving forward, is if she ever feels a lack of love or if something went wrong, same here, we tell each other. We're trying to make it more common that we express to each other so that the trust can build up, so she can see through time and time again, like, I can handle it, she can handle it. Look, I'm never gonna get defensive. If I do, I'll apologize, I'll always be there to talk about it. So those are the last 2 things I wanted to say.
If you're needing to confront a friend about something or talk about it, just pray before. I feel like that might honestly change how you go about it.
So true.
In so many ways, more than you expect. So
with that, we're gonna end this video. I loved this one.
This was so fun to talk about. And it was just, this is very real insight into our friendship.
This is real deal us.
We didn't fluff anything out here. This is
friendship for you.
Yeah.
So email us if you want us to pray that you will receive friends. We will be praying for you if you email us, guys. Not kidding. And friends will probably pop in your life in a few months or whatever, or a few days. So email us, comment down below, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.